I want to give you some actual reasons to care about music theory in this video. Bro, stop thinking and just play. Why do you care so much? It's just notes. Well, let's actually talk about the real reason why you should study music theory. Is there one? Well, let's just do some disclaimers first. This video is really targeted at the intermediate level. This is people who have played their instrument for a while. They know some notes, they know some chords, they know some scales, but it's not a guide to music theory or even really a discussion of music theory. The goal for this video is for those on the fence that know enough to be dangerous, but they're hesitant to go full nerd and really commit themselves to learning more about music theory. It's to convince them that it would benefit them to be a little more inquisitive and a little bit more diligent to learn these terms. Also, it's for those that use music theory as a bludgeon or a tool to put others down and make themselves feel smarter and more intelligent. What is really the use for music theory? I think it comes down to helping us build in our understanding of music and communicate to those around us. Why does music theory jargon, technical terms help us to understand music? Well, every time we clearly define something such as pitch, chords, scales, octaves, note names, etc., we make a spot in our brains for that to live. And then we can build on that. We can build into things such as seventh chords, chord progressions, form, compositional theory, improv. Basically, it's just building blocks. We just lay one layer down, that foundational layer, then we can add on something else. If you never put that first layer down, how in the world are you going to build up to another layer? Is it possible to go far with no names, no jargon, no music theory? Absolutely. But in the same way that you probably want your surgeon to know the actual names of human anatomy and the pilot to know what the different controllers are and not go that doohickey there and that thing over there, having jargon understanding and knowing the specialized language can really help us to have some authority and some ability to build upon that and be confident in what we're doing. The other outcome is going to be better communication. If we're working on a car together and I'm like, hey, can you grab that doohickey over there so I can spin this and get that off of that other thing? You're probably going to just want to slap me and just be done with working on the car with me just because it'd be so frustrating. But instead, if I say, hey, can you hand me the screwdriver so we can turn this bolt and get this alternator off, then you're going to understand what we're talking about. And if you don't understand those terms, you actually have something practical to ask me, and then we can get on the same page. Why is it so important to know what a dominant seventh chord is, to know what the Dorian mode is, to know what altered means? It's because we can now talk the same language and talk to each other. But I would not just stop with formal words and academic language. I would say it's important to know even the colloquial jargon, the specific words for your community, for your style of music that people know about. One of the specific examples I'll give right now is the term special. This really refers to the part of the song that's different from everything else. Most likely going to be the bridge of the song. That would be the formal name. But if you know, hey, we're going to the special, and you know what that means, you're going to have such an easier time communicating with at least that group of musicians. Where does this all lead us? Well, if you're using music theory knowledge or ignorance as kind of part of your personality and brand in music, I would highly encourage you to stop and instead think of it as a tool and a resource to help you better understand and communicate in music. If you are avoiding learning more about music because you don't think it's that important, learning more about music theory, I should clarify, because you don't think that's important, consider this video putting you on notice to go ahead and fill out that understanding. Yes, it is hip to be square. It is hip to know these specific terms so that you can talk better to others and have those building blocks to continue progressing in your knowledge. At the same time, if you are one of those people that is sitting on your mountain of knowledge and you're like, I have my master's degree in music, well, this is putting you on blast to stop using it as a way of making others feel less than, because guess what? You can play like crazy not knowing any of the formal names. And honestly, it is all subjectively decided what these names actually are. And you could totally pick completely different names and it would have no problem. Not saying there isn't some value in having the same names. There absolutely is. I just made a whole video on it. But it should never be used as a way to make someone else feel bad for your benefit. At the end of the day, all music theory is just a theory and only is as helpful as it helps us to describe how music works. Be ready at all times to abandon what you know to better fit what you are doing. I think my favorite example of this is the song Sweet Home Alabama. This song is a D chord, a C chord, then a G chord. You could think of it as being 5-4-1 in G major. Very helpful way to quickly get to the chords to have a general idea of what to do. But then you'd start soloing in G major and you'd go, what in the world? This sounds terrible. So then you start soloing in D major and D major pentatonic and you go, that sounds pretty good. Maybe add in a little bit of blues. Then you go, oh, actually this song is 1 flat 7-4. But then you go and play with some other people and you go, oh yeah, this song's in D major and it's a 1 flat 7-4 chord progression. And they look at you like you're a crazy person. And then they throw you out of the band because you're such a super jerk. Well, in both those cases, you are correct and you're also wrong at the same time. And what I would argue is use it when it is helpful and don't use it or abandon it when it is causing friction. This has been Robert Monroe. If you like these type of videos, go ahead, like, subscribe. Also comment something else about when you found music theory to be definitely useful or to be a little ostracizing and maybe less useful. And I will talk to you later. Thanks.